OnlyFans only exists because men are sexually starved. If there wasn't a supply, there wouldn't be a demand. Okay? If men were not so desperate to sexually please themselves, women on OnlyFans wouldn't have made millions of dollars. Okay? They would have made millions of dollars just for talking to men, okay, rendering little silly stuff. Okay? It goes to tell you that men are so sexually wired to a point where they will render an OnlyFans star millionaire or billionaire in a second. It tells you that most men, especially the 99% of men that are neglected or overlooked by women, are seeking emotional connection with these women, though they know they cannot forge an emotional connection. But the delusion of just talking to them makes them emotionally stable. Okay, she is rendering a service whereby they wouldn't have had otherwise. It goes to tell you how powerful sex is to men. Because there's so many services out there, billion-dollar companies out there that wouldn't have existed if men were not on this planet. No, it wouldn't have. It wouldn't. Because they know the weak point of man. The weak point of man, okay, is sex. I don't care who you are. I will say it again and again. It's sex. Period. You want to argue with me and tell me otherwise? Leave your comment below. Because I'm telling you, this isn't the channel where you come and try to, argue your way out of what is known as reality. Where researchers have backed up. Many peer-reviewed journals have backed that up. So who are you to come here and tell me you're lying? I am not like that. You are this session, maybe. But the weak point of most men is sex, if not all of them. Okay? It would be arrogant of me to say all of them, but most. 99.999% of men is sex. That's how come you have smart people creating, avenue to monetize on the fantasy of neglected men, getting attention from women, which otherwise they wouldn't get. Which is why we have something like OnlyFans in our society now. Okay? Before OnlyFans, there were other stuff. But if women on those platforms are selling even their fart, how desperate are you? You want to smell someone's fart, and you're paying her dirty socks. I mean, what the heck? I'm not here to judge, but I'm just saying that if you want to understand a man, men can be complex and simple at the same time. Because you might think it's so normal for someone to want a woman's fart. But that's what keeps him going. Who are you to judge him? He wants a part. He's buying it. Are you the one giving him the money? He's working hard for his money, and he wants a part from this woman in a bottle. Please, don't get in the way of this man, being served. Okay? Who are you? Okay? You're just an internet fool. Oh my God. Look, if you want to understand a male's sexuality, you cannot be judgmental. That's the only way to understand them. If you're going to come here and be judgmental, why are you ordering fat? Why are you ordering salt? Why are you doing that? Why that? Come on, you will not understand them. Because you are judging them already. How can you understand someone that you have a preconceived notion of? You're already judging him. You're placing him in a place of no return. Like, well, he's this, he's that. Weird terminology. He's that. It's easy to judge others, though. Sometimes you don't look at yourself, but it's easy for you to judge other people. And why the one fart in the bottle? All right. If you want to understand the sexuality of men and their mindset, you cannot be judgmental and serious. Because a man is going to justify his reasons for being on OnlyFans. Maybe he has a wife who's not attending to his sexual needs. When he tells you that, what are you going to do? Are you still going to judge him and say, well, if she's not, then you should find out why? Finding out why, do you know how long, how many years, how many months he went without it? Okay? He may be depressed. He doesn't know what to do about it. He doesn't want to leave his wife. He loves her. But if he's finding a little recreational area to let loose and pay for it, who are you to judge him? I'm saying again, OnlyFans wouldn't have existed if men were not sexually starved in this society. Simple. There's no way you can tell me the reason why OnlyFans exists and people are making millions of it. Okay? I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I'm not sponsored by OnlyFans. It's just an example. But there are multitude of sites out there. Okay? But I'm using it because it's the biggest example of our 21st century. Okay? It's the newest thing. It's the new or old, I don't know, but it's the newest thing, I guess. Okay? I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just using them as my example. Okay? So I'm not promoting, okay, their website or whatever it is, but in a way it seems like if I am promoting them, but I'm not. Okay? They are the subject of my subject. Okay. This site, let me generalize it. This multitude of sites that is catering to the fantasy of men are in place because men are desperate for attention. Men want attention from women. That's what makes them men. Some men, heck, they would like to even be, I don't want to say it here because you do, but there's a lot of weird stuff out there. You guys know. There's a lot of weird stuff out there. Whatever you may deem as a weird is not deemed for the other person. It is weird to you, but it's not weird to them. But there's a lot of, surprising stuff out there that men seek that you won't believe you. If someone were to tell you that this man wanted this from them, you say, well, you're lying, you're exaggerating, but you will be surprised. Okay? You will be surprised. This site wouldn't have been in business, okay? They would have been in business if men were not neglected, if men didn't have high libido, because it's not every man that is neglected that is on the site. We need to make it clear, okay? Because there are just so many of them for them to be neglected. No. The amount of men on those sites is just enormous to a point where there's no way they're all neglected, okay? We cannot put all of them in one basket. Some are happily, married, getting the services met, but because they like, different stuff, different sauce, I guess, different flavors, okay, let's say flavors, different women, different looks, different hairstyle, different, speech, different way of talking. They like those varieties, okay? So therefore, I guess it's part of being a man. I guess it's part of being a man. I'm not a man, but I guess it's part of being a man. Does it mean that men's sexual desire can never be fulfilled? Is that what it means? Because if you have to go out of your way to pay for services that we may not deem as valuable, to your hard-earned money into it, but the value that it brings to you, we cannot speak on that, because to you it is very valuable. Okay, we cannot judge you or speak on that, but for me, it gives me a deeper understanding of how miserable men are sexually. I wouldn't want to be a man, because if sex is this powerful in your life, I wouldn't want to be a man. I would rather be a woman who have control of her sexual desires. Yeah, anything out of control is a point of concern. Yeah, that's it. Of course, there's some men that can control their sexual desires. Yeah, but not many. Not many. Okay, that's how come you see these great men, their downfall is always caused by women, because women have understood you guys' weak point, and most women they will use it against you, and they always do. They will always do. If you want to, bring a man down, just use his weak point. And his weak point, most of the time, 100, not 100, 99.9% of the time is sex. Okay? So, you see these great men, they can be great and smart, they can be in all the careers. Just because you're smart and you're great, it doesn't change the fact that you're a man. And your desire, if it's high, is the same as the next man. You have desires that are the same as most men. It doesn't matter which career field you're in, your tax bracket, the 10%, the 99%, you are all seeking the same thing. You are seeking pleasure from women. So on that playing field, you are all equal. Because what you guys are seeking is woman, isn't it? That's how come you guys flock to this site. And also, let's go to the dating site. You guys know a strategy that is used by dating sites that works very effectively, that might even bring up the point that I'm talking about. Okay? Most dating sites are free for the woman. But guess what? It's not free for the man. Because the dating site psychology is that this man is willing to pay for my services because he wants to get access to multiple women as possible. And we as dating site, we are promising you that you will have access to multiple beautiful women. But you have to pay. And you will pay. Because they're rendering you services. It cannot be free for both. If not, how are they going to run their services? They are a business. And rightfully so. I'm just using dating site to back up the psychology of what I'm talking about right now. Why most sites, that caters to men exist. And they're very successful. Let's get out of the dating site. Now let's talk about clubs. There are some clubs. For the woman it's free. And for the man you have to pay, even in Africa. The men, it seems the men always have to pay, invest, in order for them to get access to their pleasure center. In order for that pleasure center to be pleased, it seems as if men always have to give and give. That's how come traditional women will always view a man as a provider. Because guess what? That's your nature. You always provide and give in order for you to not to get what you want. Not that it is transactional, but because that part of you is so needy and is so essential to a point where you have to feed it. But in order for you to feed it, because society know your weak point, they have to make you pay. They have to make you pay. You are the man. You are the provider. I like providers. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just using it to tell you guys that man is willing to go to the bottom of the earth to get his sexual needs met. Tell me otherwise. Strip clubs exist because of men. That's how come the male strip clubs don't make as much money as this strip clubs that is designated to men or that caters to men. The strip club wouldn't have existed. And the people rather invest in the one that caters to men than the one that caters to women. If you go online and try to Google male strip clubs, there isn't a lot in town because women are not willing to pay much, okay? But the ones that caters to men, they're in business because a man is willing to pay to get what he wants in terms of feeding his pleasure center. He doesn't even need to get intimate with any of those women. The fact that he goes in the strip club and just watching them, he feels like a man already, and he's satisfied. And you leave that place, go home and go to sleep. He could be a loner, he could be single, he could be coming from a divorce. He just need some stress reliever, okay? That can be a way. And society has found that out and they're really banking on it. But women are not willing to pay for those services. I don't know how those male strip club make money. If it's not a woman's bachelorette party or birthday, it's rare. But a man will go to the female strip club any time of the day. It doesn't matter if it's his birthday or not, because what is in him is too strong. Is strong. Those desires are like constantly reminding him, "Hey, you need to bang, bang. You need to bang. Come on, let's go. When are we going to bang?" Constantly telling him he has to bang. I would say, I'm glad I'm not a man.